Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
I'm just going over my guys. We're going to start.
That's fine. I was trying to get myself together too. I had to, I got to make my quick run to the store every morning.
And you're in Detroit.
Yeah. How is it in a club playing right now? Tell me a little bit.
To me?
How is it? You know what I mean? Like, how are they separating people and stuff like that? Like, tell me a little bit about it.
About playing out, just playing out now?
Yeah, playing now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's it's a little song and dance. Obviously, man, you've got people got to like. It's different. You know what I mean? They got to have spacing. Right. You got to make sure that there's sanitation stations that right when you get masks. Obviously I can't play and sing with a mask, but when I walk in the joint, I gotta have my mask on. And once I get done playing and I go talk to people, I put my mask back on and holler at people and say what's up.
I hate it.
It's a herky jerky kind of a it's close though. You know what I mean? Because people still want to come out because because they want to hear music. You know what I mean? They want to congregate. We want to get back to just to do some normal social things. So it's there's maybe a little bit of concern, but I think once everyone gets past the whole how do we say what's up to each other and say, you know what I mean?
Right.
and then it gets then you start playing and people start drinking their wine and everything's just cool. You know what I mean? And it's
right.
It's good. So
to refresh my memory, Minnesota, is that a big liberal state or is that a Republican conservative state? I mean,
man,
what's your views on that? Because here in Arizona, our governor is very conservative. We waited a long time to mask up. We really never shut our state down. And you were here when you did recently leave. You were here, so he was fighting it. He's definitely the Trump. Oh, it's nothing. Blah blah blah. But how is Minnesota? I know Detroit. Detroit is a big. Tori, Alex in the bottom. He is in Detroit. So Detroit.
Okay.
Liberal.
The heart of Detroit, actually. But yeah, she's been masking up since day one. You know what I mean? She shut the whole fucking state down. She said, "Fuck everybody."
Well, just from me being there last week, it was completely different in Detroit than it is from here in Arizona. Everybody had a mask on. I mean, I've been wearing my mask since February, but everybody.
Background, her little one, he's a health risk. So I mean, you probably are used to it. So
I am, exactly. I've been living this life for a minute.
So what was it? What is Denver? I mean, Minnesota like?
I came into Minnesota. I got here like May 12th. You know what I mean? So like the state had actually, they were just about to open and like I think a couple weeks after.
They were going to open in May.
They were gonna do. I can't remember. Honestly, man, I can't remember. All I know is that Arizona was shut down, and then I knew I was coming into Minnesota being shut down, but I knew that maybe at the beginning of June things were gonna maybe start coming up again.
One quick second.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like everyone's masking up and doing things like that. Minnesota's it's a diverse state, just like Arizona. You have towards the city is one. If you have a bigger metropolis close to the city, has one set of politics. But you also have rural areas that have a completely different set of politics and a completely different kind of priorities. So it's up north in Minnesota can be get considered conservative, or and maybe in the cities it's liberal or whatever. But man, all of those damn names are a pain in the ass anyway. It's a diverse state, and figure their shit out, and but in my experience, like I said, people mean well here, man. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I try to stray away from like trying to put a big ass label. Just like when people say, well, all Latinos are the same or Chicanos or whatever. It's not even close. So I try to skirt all that shit,
You'll be arguing forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
That's why I just play music.
So in the inner city,
Right.
big metropolitan city, it's pretty liberal, but when you come out to the boonies, they're pretty conservative. Trumpers, they're basically like, you're going to take my guns and all that bullshit then, basically, right?
Well, yeah, because it's a different. Yeah, it's just a rural area has their their priorities are different. So what I mean. So they have a different set of it's an agricultural they've got different priorities, and people in the city's got obviously different priorities, and the government touches different areas in different ways, and so that community gets used to that system. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I've been really conscious to the past 4 or 5 years to be like aware of where the bait is. You know what I'm saying? And so like I always I get a little slippery when it comes to all those things, but so I apologize if I'm not giving a direct answer, but it is because like it isn't direct.
Like every other big, any big city you go to, they're going to be pretty liberal, and then when you start moving out, you're going to get the conservative, hillbilly. I'm just
oh boy.
Like, you're going to take the feds, fuck you, and the Trumper, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
they're, in the inner city, you're going to have more urban, and they want to.
There's hillbillies in the urban though too. So
Facts. Big facts.
There's a lot more hillbillies than you think, but I got them in my family.
I just never paid attention.
I do.
I'm just bringing up some nice stuff. So, you want to go? You want to go first? We're gonna talk a little bit, and then you can always, if you need to bounce after you're done, you can. You don't have to stay in. It's up to you, Reynaldo. But
No, you got to stay. No, I'm just playing.
Oh man, yeah.
If you just let me know, I'll just say, hey, he's got to go or something. But
Sure, I'll let you know.
you have any plans today, or no?
Yeah, no, I got the morning. I want to get on the road a little bit, but yeah, I've definitely got some time. Fun. Like I said, this is my first Zoom, any kind of virtual, whatever.
Alex, she just got back from Michigan. She was there. Would you say 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. I was there 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
I was in Dallas the week prior.
Texas. How was Texas?
Oh, man.
Texas is shut down. We couldn't even find anywhere to eat.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
Texas was, and they're very conservative.
Right.
I was in the Bible Belt. We couldn't find anywhere to eat. I couldn't find anywhere to drink. We
That's
actually
crazy.
after training went to, me and my girl were like, we're going to go to the strip club. I mean, because where else is there to go? So we go to the strip club and we pay like $50 to get in. And we're sitting there and I'm like, I don't see any liquor. Where's all the liquor at? Why is there just bottles of beer? But like cases of beer, right? And they're giving them to people in these like clear totes with ice. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is their bottle of beer or their buckets of beer? And then I called the bartender over. I'm like, hey, is that all there is to drink? She's like, oh no, honey, we're bring your own booze.
Yeah.
Wow. Dang. That's crazy.
So
BYOB.
then, yes.
Go back to the store.
So then we leave. Okay. We paid $50 to get in. We leave.
Wow.
We leave our great parking spot because there's nowhere to fucking park. And we go to this gas station across the street and they don't have anything. And he sends us on this wild goose chase to go find liquor. And they only sell it till 1 o'clock. Right. And nothing was open. So at 12:58, I'm literally yelling at my girlfriend. I'm like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. And we're like at each other's throats.
Right. Irritated already.
We're so mad we didn't even go back. So they got our $50.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there was nothing we could eat. So we end up going to like Whataburger, and I don't even eat fast food. So I was just so angry with the whole situation. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
I miss Whataburger so bad.
Yeah.
Being there.
So yeah, Dallas was shut down. They.
My first.
One quick second, Dreak.
I'm in El Paso, and we go to a strip bar, and he's like, we got to go to the parties, to the liquor store or whatever. And I was like, for what? And he's like, well, it's bring your own beer. And I'm like, to the strip club? Are you kidding me?
I was so mad.
Yeah, so I'm like, what are you talking about? So, yeah. to bring your own beer to the strip club, which is kind of weird to me.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very hillbilly.
So that,
No, I'm just playing.
so then I'm like, because I looked that strip club up on Google, right?
Right.
So I was so mad that I went on Yelp and wrote a bad review because their website doesn't say that you have to bring your own beer.
I love that because a lot of people, like I'm the type of person that like, that you can write reviews and like and a lot of people are too lazy to do things like that. And if I give my money to something or somebody, I'll write a review. I'll make a call. I'll do that. I'll take advantage of that.
I wrote that review at
awesome.
1:05 that morning, sitting in the
Mad as
parking
hell.
lot at the gas and a motherfucker.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So pissed.
You're just giving them pandemic assistance. That's all.
Right.
Terrible.
Bad review.
Yeah.
I don't care. If I get bad food, I'm like, fuck it. I just don't come back.
Right.
I was mad because it was misleading. Like their website doesn't even say it. And then the next day, one of my clients, I find out that we're in what's called the Bible Belt, which I didn't know that. And they've only literally had liquor there for like the past 5 years or something outrageous like that. So I was just mad. Like that whole website misled us. It was like nude review. I was pumped. I got to see some tits. And then all of a sudden, bam, no drinks. No drinks. And then they charged me like $12 for like for pineapple juice because the guy next to us felt so bad. He gave me a shot of Patron. And I'm like, well, I want some pineapple juice. And yeah, $12. So they ended up getting way more than $50 out of us. Yeah.
That's insane. $12.
Terrible.
Wow.
Fucking terrible.
That's like I went to a Piston game in February, and I was with my friend, and and she's a tequila drinker. She was like, just go get me I haven't been out to in a minute to especially like to a Piston game or anything like that, sporting event, and I went and got like I know I live at like Comerica Park Tiger games and stuff, so I know how they charge and stuff like that, especially downtown over here. But I was like, oh my God, I got her a double shot. It was a double shot of tequila with lemonade, and then I bought me one beer, like a 16-ounce beer. It was like he was like $28.50. I was like, oh my God, or 32 something. It was weird. I was like, what for that? I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just brought me back to reality because, like I said, I haven't been out to an event in a while. So I was like, wow, I was like, here, man. And then she drank it in like 3 minutes. So I was like, damn, sip on that shit, man.
And it's all pre-measured too, so it's not even like a real pour.
Right, that's crazy.
Yeah, strip club prices at the sporting events.
For real, that's crazy, man.
And you don't even get drunk.
That's why we drank prior, but
that's why I just put it in my purse or in my bag.
Right. Yeah, that's what she wanted to do, and I was like, I don't want to get kicked out of my venues for the rest of my life. I'm sorry.
She's a professional. She knew what she was doing.
Right. That's hilarious.
Shit, if she got you kicked out, it'd save you a lot of money in the long run, huh?
Right. But hey, like with the pandemic, it's like we wouldn't got to watch on TV anyway, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered at the time.
Speaking of drinking the pandemic, how funny is it that before, like, nobody could, you even go towards the door with your bottle of beer and they're like, hey, whoa, you can't leave. Now they're like, hey, take this pitcher of margarita with you.
Right.
Would you like a trough of margarita? How many glasses do you need? You're like, oh, cool. Like they just stick a straw in it and let you walk out. It's crazy as shit.
Right.
I know.
Before people are sticking beers in their shirts.
Worked at a bar, and I'm from Detroit, and I had a bar.
Right.
Against the law, but it would be like, some guy at the end of 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, he'd be like, hey, can I get a 6-pack to go?
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was totally against the law, but now,
right.
I don't know, did they envision those bars to be able to do carry out?
Yeah, they gave them a carry out. They gave them carry out licensing. Some bars actually, me as a bartender background, some bars actually already have carry out licensing. A lot of them that have like patios or do like party bus events and stuff like that. But those other ones now are getting temporary ones because a lot of them, to even open up and petition to open, they have to have a patio area where they're moving all their patrons outside to eat.
Right.
So that's where that kind of comes into play.
Yeah, and I seen a lot of bars doing like actually like restructuring, you know, and like renovating their bar and all that for that. But you know, it kind of sucks being over here, you know, in Detroit. It's like, you know, it's gonna get cold but for the next couple months, it's, you know, I seen some of that going on. Whatever it takes, you got to keep your business alive. I mean, you know, whatever it takes, I guess you got to invest money to keep making it. So yeah, it's changed everything. It's pretty crazy. I can't stand wearing the mask, you know, going to work I just started a job a couple weeks ago and I got to wear that for like 10 hours. I'm like, it's so irritating, but it is what it is. And yeah, hopefully it'll go away. We'll see. Everybody keeps saying, you know, after the election, everything's going to like go back to normal. And I don't know what that is, but what that means, but like, just, we could take the mask off, but I probably still won't ever take the mask off. I just to be, because I'm just cautious like that anyway. So, you know.
Same.
No, man.
Yeah. Scary, man. It's scary.
Nah, we don't want to go back there. Normal was shitty. Let's not go back to normal.
Yeah. I mean,
Agreed.
it keeps everybody on their toes though. So yeah, I agree with you, you know, to that point for sure.
I definitely feel like there was a silver lining in all of this.
Right. Everybody's taking care of themselves better and all that stuff. So.
And I feel like that's the hustle. If anyone tries to tell you like, hey, we're getting back to normal, you be back away from anyone.
Right. That's why I said, like, what does that even mean? Like,
and any business, politician, anybody that says, hey, let's go back to normal, you should be like, wait a minute. Normal wasn't necessarily like, ooh, like we want better.
Right. That wasn't normal. Right. No, you're right, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you know? We definitely want better, not normal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to Facebook Live. Zoom sometimes doesn't play nice with Facebook. So that's what I'm doing. And then, you know, once you. So I'm not trying to be racial or stereotype, but do you think that the Asian company or the Asian countries had it nailed? I mean, I've gone to Disneyland. I'm always traveling. And I've seen these motherfuckers wearing masks for fucking 20 years. I mean, you know what I mean? Did they know something we didn't know?
I don't think it's racial at all. I mean, it's historical. This civilization existed longer than we have. Right. So obviously, you know what I'm saying?
For a long time. I mean, I go to Disneyland and you know what I mean? I see them with masks and we're talking 10 years ago.
Yep. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Yeah. And I've been saying this from the get. I mean, even if you look at the Asian-owned businesses, they all wear masks. They've been wearing masks. Anything from beauty supplies to Asian markets to restaurants, they all have been. So when that argument came out that it makes you more sick or lowers your immune system, I'm thinking there's no way, because these people have been wearing these for decades. On top of the fact, you know, I have a lot of different backgrounds, the beauty background. When all this came down, I had packs of masks already because in the beauty industry, you wear a mask. And between that and having a medically compromised child, this is just something that I've always done. So when people are like, oh, it makes you sicker and you're making things worse for yourself, I can't even agree a little bit, because it's bullshit. It's bullshit, or I would have been sick for a long time. So I think that they're just more cautious and they're more aware, and they don't have this stereotypical, you're trying to control me if I wear a mask type attitude. They look at it as, you know, this is just life and the precautions that we take to stay healthy and keep making money, because they all about their money too, let's be honest.
It kind of makes me think, like, because I'll say it, when I was like 17, 18, I used to go with my cousin, and he would, this guy was like a pretty boy. So he would go get his hair permed. He would get his nails manicures, and I would get manicures too. I would go and get just the gloss and all that stuff like that. And I'm trying to, yeah, Mike. I'm trying to remember if I want to say I remember them like wearing masks. That's when that just made me think about that, and they're just covering their mouth and all that stuff. I don't know if it's from the fumes or whatever, but yeah, I kind of remember that now, and that's crazy now that I think about it.
All right, I'm going to start it. I don't know what's going on. I got the video recorded, so I'm going to start it in. So give me just a second.
Go ahead.
All right, good morning, y'all. It's Saturday. I didn't get much sleep. 9 to 12?
Like that.
Is it the day after 9/11? I know we talked about this, Alex.
Called September 12th.
19 years already. Been kind of crazy. I know everybody probably like, do I remember where I was? I actually do. I was in Detroit. I just bought a bar down in Corktown. And the week prior, I don't know if everybody knows, but I think Alex knows, and Reynaldo knows. I don't know if Tori knows, but so I want to tell everybody, I got Tori on the line. I got Reynaldo. He is a musician. He's originally from Phoenix. He's living in Minnesota. I got Tori. She's here in Phoenix, and then Alex Sportsmouth is in Detroit. But I was at a bar that I recently purchased. The week prior, I got Hank the Angry Dwarf that passed. He was posted at the grand opening pouring booze for the patrons. So I get a call, a week before saying Hank the Angry Dwarf, unfortunately, is not going to be able to make the event because he just passed. He was a kind of figure on Howard Stern, little angry Irish midget. Well, I guess you can't say midget, but so he was a little angry
man.
But he passed, and then at the bar, we just opened up. We actually served lunch, but I got there, I don't know, it was about 8 o'clock, and I see the plane hit Building 2, and I thought I was watching a movie. And being in Detroit at the time, you got to remember the Canada Ambassador Bridge is one of the largest international crossings. So I'm a little worried. Where were you, Tori, on 9/11, 19 years ago?
I was actually at 9 Mile and Jefferson in St. Clair Shores. I was going to run my errands. I just dropped my son off. He was in elementary school, and I was going to run my errands, and I got a phone call from my mom. And right before she called me, I was pulling into the parking lot of right there at Fishbones. I had to drop something off to one of the managers. And right before she called, everybody in the parking lot had stopped. Like, I just got this eerie feeling, like, why is everybody looking around? Cars stopped, and it was pretty early. I knew something was going on, and then my mom called, and she said, "Are you home safe? Where are the kids?" And I turned on the radio, and I sat in my car listening, just in amazement. And like you said, it was kind of like, okay, is this real? Is this real? Is this a prank? Like, is this a movie? What is happening? And I just started crying, and I sat in my car at that corner for about an hour, and then made my way home. And then the schools called, and I went, picked my son up, and we kind of just got in the house. We didn't know what was to happen at that point.
That was your older son at the point, correct?
Yes, my oldest son, yeah. He's going to be 25 now.
All right. So that was, so he was just, what, 6 years old? Wow.
Yeah, he was 6. He was 6.
Wow. How about you, Alex? Where do you remember where you were at? You probably were hanging out all night anyways. Damn,
you hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. I was probably, got home from when you had the bar, and I remember waking up, and it was like I remember seeing when I woke up and I turned the TV on, and the first building got hit, and I seen it smoking, and then like I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes later, here comes the other plane, and I was like, what? That was crazy, man. I don't even have words to express that, but when I seen that, I was just like, oh my, like wow, like you know what I mean, like, and I'm laying down like half, tired or whatever. And I sat up, and it made me sit up, and I just sat there and I watched it for a couple hours and everything. I called my dad, talked to my dad, and yeah, I'll never forget that day. Like I pretty much was just like I had just clicked on right when it happened. Pretty much, probably just missed the first one, and I'm glad because I don't want to see that, but it was what it was, and yeah, that was crazy, man. I knew something huge was going on, something, but yeah, it just looked like. It looked fake. It looked, it was like you said, watching a movie. It was just, it was surreal, man. And yeah, like I said, so I wasn't around nobody or nothing like that, whatever. And but yeah, it was just crazy, man. There's, like I said, I still like don't have words for it, but I just remember seeing that. All I remember is watching the screen and seeing what happened, and just news stations going crazy and stuff like that. So.
All right.
Mind blowing.
Where are you guys at? I mean, you're here in Phoenix. I don't in high school anymore, correct? Right.
No, man. I was in Minnesota. I was actually
really?
Yeah, I was in college at the time at St. Thomas in St. Paul.
That's right. That's right. A little background what you were doing 19 years ago?
What's that? Yeah, I was in seminary. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was in seminary, so I was at I was at St. John Vianney Seminary at the campus of St. Thomas and St. Paul.
Okay.
I skipped class. I woke up late and came into the dorm area, the rec area, like every the dorm room. So every floor's got a common area. And I remember just waking up, going to check out what's on the tube because I was going to class, and saw everything that happened. And a lot of the rest of the stuff's kind of hazy to me. You know what I mean? But I think one thing that I do particularly remember is calling my dad that day because my dad's a firefighter. He's 30 years on the Phoenix department.
Wow.
And I think that's the memory that stuck out to me was obviously the shock and awe of what you saw, the visions. But I think the understanding like that because of growing up so in the fire department with my dad, like realizing the mechanisms that are going to happen when a tragedy happens. Right. These fools going, and then I realized. And you started to hear all these awful stories, and I just called my dad. I remember calling my dad and just telling him how proud I was. Like it was really like it was very emotional.
That's so deep.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So that's I remember.
Did your dad ever get that call? Because I know that there was firefighters that were coming all over the country to go help at Ground Zero. Did he ever get that call?
I don't know if he got that call, but he may have been on one of the response teams. Like they start when stuff happened, every city has their own kind of like tragic, hazardous response team and kind of response team. I know I'm making up words, but they have teams that do this shit. So like I'm sure they already had a crew together. My dad didn't know he was really on that stuff, but I mean that guy would have. Gone on his own. If help needed, he would have been there. You know what I mean? So, but no, my dad was just that. He was too busy putting out fires here in Phoenix. You know what I mean? And people got to take care of home too. You know?
Right.
So tell me, you're at cemetery. I can't even talk right now. So you're at. Whoever didn't hear that or whatever else you did. So he was going to become a priest. So in layman words. So tell me the vibe there. I mean, you got a bunch of Catholic priests that are all around. What is their like? Are they like end of times kind of mode, or what is the vibe there?
At the time, what do you mean? Like? So we're back at 19 years ago.
Yes. What's the vibe? And you know what I mean? I mean, religious. Everybody's like freaking out. Are they end of times? Are they like, you know what I mean? God will guide us. You know what I mean? Like what? Tell me a little bit about that.
No, I think it's like most spiritual people. At the seminary, there wasn't a bunch of priests. Maybe there was like 5 priests there that actually lived there. Like each floor had a director that helped out. But it was actually, these are college age dudes that were discerning whether or not they wanted to become a priest. And so they were living in a household with other dudes, with like-minded dudes, and they were, they're obviously they weren't dating or abstaining from things. We were going to church, doing mass every day. So this is a routine of everyday prayer every day. That, like, it's almost like, it's like not beaten into you, not in a negative sense, but it's beaten into you. Like, every day you get on your knees, every day you do what you got to do. And so I think in a time of crisis, the only thing I can remember from that is that everyone's just praying hard, and we're trying to get as many people together to pray as much. And hey, we're doing prayer on this floor, and we're going to get together for this. So I think there was never a sense of panic. There was like, when you've got and I don't want to make it lofty, like, but when you have a spiritual sense, you just, when shit gets rough, you get calmer because you find your center real quick. And I think that's what I found in there, was that guys found their center real quick and were helped to help other people find their centers, which is that's why the profession they chose to get into,
Right. So as a Hispanic growing up, Mexican or whatever, my grandma's right.
Whatever. Oh, whatever.
Things, it's coming to an end. All this. So you know what I mean. You hear that in your head, like, oh, grandma, come on, you're just being, crazy. You know what I mean? So like I said, I mean, you're actually at the school and everybody's, like, hey, just coming together. And I think, to be honest with you, that's probably when the country actually, the last time that everybody came together. And I think that's what COVID is missing. And I know, a lot of things comes down to politics, but I think the biggest thing is, if we had a leader that brought us together, I think it would make it easier as this country tries to, come together. And that's just my thoughts. But I mean, like I said, despite what people thought of George Bush W, but I think this country, after that tragic happened, I think everybody came together, and it didn't matter if you were black or white. I think so. I just think that's what the country needs at this moment. There's a lot of things that has happened with COVID, and just whatever that, when it comes down to politics, they make it very political, and the Chinese virus, just crazy stuff. So I think that's a big thing. Go ahead, you had to say something.
No, I was just going to say that, like, I feel like the difference between like 9/11 was like one specific thing. This coronavirus has like affected people for months long, and it's hit. I think the difference is like the financial impact. It's like really shocked like the financial institutions, and like I think that it's the system that hasn't taken care of the people in so long. And what this pandemic did was all of a sudden shook all of those systems that were supposed to maybe take care of people, but have not taken care of people, and only kind of siphoned into their money pit. And so when crisis really happens, then all of a sudden we see that our healthcare system is flawed, that our unemployment system is flawed, that like there's so many things because it's been stressed out. And I think that's where you can't really unify, because everyone's been hitting their pocketbooks except for a certain few. And so, but people, how can you think about bettering yourself, bettering your world, bettering your community, when you have no choice but trying to figure out how to just put food on the table, lights on, and feed your kids? It's a very different, like, I don't remember ever having to hit my pocketbook when 9/11 happened. We just all came together and we loved each other and was like, yeah, we're together. This is a totally different thing. It's ugly, you know what I mean, in the sense that how it's shown, not the people. And I think that's the problem, is it's not the people, it's the system. And our people that we supposedly chose to get us to help us, that haven't done that. They help their friends, but they don't help us, and we're too confused. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get off, but I just feel like
right. No. I think
shown so much, and I think it's easy when someone talks real dumb and has no compassion, who has no sense of the real world, and that's the one that everyone can pick on. But he's a symptom of a whole system that has just been, the reason he got elected is because people thought the system was bullshit. So they're gonna guy because he's an outsider.
They want change.
Plug right into the
Or
system.
change, right.
And
Like,
so,
you know, thinking,
an exacerbation of this ugly system that doesn't take care of us, and yet we're the ones that pay into the system. So it's like I had a lot of time to think during this whole lockdown. I'm just beginning to see, you know, there's a lot of bullshit. So I don't know.
right.
Well,
No,
I think
I just wanted to say, like, you know, like you said, you know, people that trying to put, you know, families and that are trying to put food on the table and all that stuff, everything, pay the bills, you know, and not stop from losing their homes and stuff like that. One of the things that I thought about was like, you know, you got families that got 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. Like, I was like thinking about them, like, wow, you know, like, can't imagine what they're going through, you know, the larger families, and that's, you know, not, you know, but I mean, more kids, I mean, it is what it is. It's like, wow, I was thinking about them, and it's like, man, I feel for them. Those are the people that I was thinking about, like.
And how many of them are social? How many of them are distance learning? How many people got to work at home? I mean, it's a whole mess.
Right. And then if there's single parents, like, wow, you know, mother or male or female single parent, that's like, man, you know, some people think they got it bad. They need to guess again.
Well, I've been saying for years, it's just so, you know, it is what it is, and, you know, the rich stay rich. So you can. Go ahead.
What's that?
You have something to say?
What I was thinking is, you know, when you said about everything being divided and then it plays into the financial, I think that what has been bothering me, I wouldn't say the most, but has really set heavy on my mind is, like, you know, you're saying you have families who have 5, 6 kids and they're really struggling. Both parents are laid off. You know, they haven't seen any unemployment. They have no help. And then you have the people who were more financially stable when this happened, and you have them insulting the people who aren't making ends meet now because maybe they were living check to check because their situation was different. And, you know, instead of being supportive of them, they're belittling them. Oh, you just want a handout. You just want this. You just want free stuff. No, they want to work. They want to provide for their families. To belittle people at a time like this is just so hurtful. To hear people that say, you know, hey, we just need a little extra help because my business still isn't open.
Right.
It's not called a handout. You know, I mean, Jesus wasn't giving out a handout. Right. You know, so I don't know. That bothers me.
The first people in line that take out were all the corporations and the businesses. Whenever there's handouts coming, they're the first ones in line.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And shame on anyone if they shame someone for wanting to get help when they do the same darn thing, and they take and it's our money.
Right.
That part. Okay. Yeah. So.
Sure.
Crazy the way things work in the government. I mean, I know we're about away from the new president or elected president, but all I can just tell you is just get out to vote. I don't like, and I know they say that it does, you know, that your vote does count, but, you know, until get rid of this big government, I got a feeling things won't. Just moving on. So we're going to move on to sports. I know, you know, I don't know how you guys are on sports, but definitely I got the sports on there. So,
shit, I ain't been paying attention.
We can talk MMA.
We can talk.
Okay, I know MMA. That's about it.
MMA amateur, or would you say did you professional?
No professional nothing.
So obviously, you know, Reynaldo did go in the square circle a little bit. So.
Oh, you were in the octagon. Nice.
Yeah, it takes a lot to go in there.
No. Only time I've ever been octagon, I was a corner man with somebody else. No.
The ring girl. About it.
I'm an enthusiast.
I would have loved to be a ring girl or a guy.
Yeah.
On TV.
So last night, Boston goes up. They take the series. They beat the Raptors. I know we talked a little bit about it.
Right.
Boston's going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat a higher seed. They had a great series. They look really good. What do you think of their odds against the Miami Heat? I mean, now you
Well, I mean, I haven't really been able to pay attention to Miami.
right.
You know, I had Boston from the get go. They're just too young. They've been like, they've been on the rise for the last few years. So, I mean,
Well, Jason Tatum, man, he's killing it. I mean, he was
right. And like I said, it's kind of been, I've been paying a little bit more attention lately, but trying to pay attention as much as I can with the, with all the playoffs, with NHL, NBA, and then with NFL getting back into, or just about to start. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just sticking with Boston. Like I said, I've been trying to pay attention as much as I can, but, I think I said a couple weeks ago, I felt like it was going to be Boston and LA, old school rivalry. So I'm sure the NBA is going to love that, a lot of money into that. So, but yeah, I mean, I still got Boston over Miami. We'll see though. It might go 7 games.
I think they go 6 games. I think Boston, Miami in 6. And then you got the West there. The Lakers, they're kind of taking it to Houston. I was kind of surprised. I was kind of pulling for them. But Houston's small, so they're up 3-1 on that. And then you got the Clippers. They should have closed out the Nuggets last night, but they couldn't. And it was going back and forth, but the Nuggets actually pulled out. So it's a 3-2 there. So you know what I mean? You've got 2 LA teams that they're probably going to meet. I don't know who's going to come out of the West. I would definitely like to see the Clippers, but I know.
Oh, I would love the Clippers to beat the Lakers. That would be, but that might be when hell freezes over. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Senator, we're going to jump to the NFL. I know that you wanted to talk about. NFL is in full swing tomorrow. You got the Lions playing. And your biggest thing is Peterson.
Right.
Your take? Because I know, he's been around. He's a record breaker. But
Right.
what was your take on that? I know what you're talking
No, when I first seen it, I got the update on my phone. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, it's something, very seldom does a player like of his caliber come to a team like Detroit, and I mean, it's like, wow. But it's like what, sometimes they just want to play and they want to go maybe help a team out that might need it, which is we're one of them, or Cleveland. The Browns are kind of in the same, situation. But no, I was just, man, and I'm like, it's something good, and usually when the Lions or any Detroit team, or just any team in general, no matter what league it is, they'll pull off a move like this, or, so they can just fill the seats, or, back when we could go and actually watch them play. But I was just blown away by it. And, I don't think the Lions did that for any type of reason like that. I think they got him because they needed him. And like I said, I was just blown away that he even signed, it's a 1-year deal. So if he has a good year, great year, or even good year, then you never know. He might re-sign again or something, maybe do a 2-year. He could retire here. So hopefully he can help us and all of that. And like I said, yeah, he's first ballot Hall of Famer, man. Guy's amazing. Still in phenomenal shape. And, yeah, I'm really I was excited to see what Tom Brady does with the Buccaneers and Cam Newton with New England. Now I'm like, I'm excited to see what Adrian Peterson could do for us, and definitely hopefully help take a lot of pressure off Stafford. So he just got to stay healthy. He's had his problems throughout his career, towards the end of his career. But, yeah, I'm excited. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think the Lions are always I'm always with the wild card, so I think they can slide in and get a wild card. A lot of people got them going like 8-8, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
what's the rule right now in Detroit? No fans, percentage of fans. What is it during COVID?
No, I haven't looked into it or nothing like that. Wasn't there fans at the Kansas City game? Like, did they?
Yeah, but it's a percentage.
Right. Okay, yeah.
So
I don't know.
each team is.
I don't know.
It all has to do with what the governor governor says. So,
Right. I mean, they might change things as the season, moves along and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't really seen
I
nothing
definitely
like that.
like to go to a Lions game. I don't know about you, Tori, but I would definitely like to go to a Lions game if
Right.
in Phoenix. I think they were originally on the schedule, but I don't know what the Cardinals or what Glendale is planning for.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I went last year. I actually, it was the first game I had been to when I came to Phoenix. So, and
That's
that
awesome.
was a very somber game because, and surprisingly, there was a lot of Detroit. I saw a lot of blue there. So
Yeah.
we sat at the end with all the red because, we're going to still represent the D, and we're
Right.
talking shit, and we're smack talking, we're back and forth at each other, and we end up tying, and we both played like shit. But at the end of the
Right.
game, we ended up tying overtime, and nobody won. We both, it was, it was a loss. So
Wow,
the
I
walk to the
kind of forgot. I kind of forgot about that.
yeah, the walk to
they
the
ended up
car.
tying.
We did, yeah, they
Wow.
did. And the walk to the car was very
Okay.
somber because
Yeah.
everybody we were talking shit at, we all just were looking at each other like, yeah, we both.
Okay. Yeah, that was a wild game. I remember now. That was a wild game. And I was like, dang, it was such a wild game for them to tie. It's like, oh, that sucks so bad. I hate ties.
It was back and forth the whole game, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They both were doing great. They both fucked up at times, but it was
Right.
like, yeah.
I used to love when Detroit come to town because we'd all get together, family. Remember Rick and Ruben? We'd all get together and we'd all tailgate. And that was the only time I'd go to a game in Arizona is when Detroit came to town.
It was
Right,
cool. I got to
right.
see all my friends, and I had literally just, as a matter of fact, the picture popped up on my memory, and it's my Facebook cover photo right now because it just popped up last week.
Oh, wow.
And I had only lived here maybe 6 months at the time, and so not even. So it was kind of cool to get to see everybody that I hadn't seen in 6 months, and there was a lot of Detroit people there. It was a cool time, even though the game didn't go out as we wanted it to.
In Minnesota, are you Reynaldo? I mean, I know you follow football, but I don't think you're a huge fan. But I mean, are you a Vikings fan now, or are you still a Cardinals fan? What are you in there?
Man, I'm blasphemous, brother. Like I shame my father. Like I don't really follow any sports teams, And like I literally, if it has to do with combat, like I'll like boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, like all that stuff. It just kind of got my go. Well, I mean, I played football for 8 years, and I think I go, I'm good. You know what I mean? So, but I've definitely been at games. I've had homies that wanted to come up from Arizona to see the Minnesota park. And so they've definitely, like, I've been to Minnesota games, and it's a really cool-ass park. The Twin Stadium's awesome.
You've been in the stadium? You've been to a game?
Yeah, I've been to the Vikings, the new Viking Stadium, and I've been to the new Twin Stadium, too. The only one I haven't been to is the
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're beautiful parks, really beautiful parks.
Okay. That's cool. All right, well, we'll move on to hockey. I know, Alex, I don't know if you've been watching, but, I'm a big hockey fan, so that is up on the Vegas Knights.
3-1, right?
Dallas win that. So they're up 2-1. Some really exciting hockey going on. And then Tampa, I am so glad they're up.
Are you sure it ain't 3-1 yet? 3-1 now? The Stars?
2-0.
Okay, because I got it. It says 3-1 right here, but I don't know, maybe.
The score was. Are you looking at the?
No, I'm just looking at the.
I saw 2-0, but if they're up 3-1,
okay.
Right, because they only played
right.
3-0. But I saw. Well, I'm just saying.
Oh no, you're right.
I'm not a big New York fan at all, so I didn't want to.
Me neither.
Win. So.
You already know me with New York teams.
That's the Rangers. The Rangers was the original 6. So just.
Right. Oh, okay.
Last week, but.
Right.
All right, so we're going to go on to entertainment. I know this is why I brought Tori on.
Oh yeah.
So we talked a little bit about it last week. That Dr. Dre and his wife divorced. So they announced it that they got a divorce. He's worth $2 billion of all the deals that he's probably made. I think he's one of the richest hip hop artists out there right now. I think him, Puffy, or whatever. But $2 billion, I think he's worth $800 million liquid. They released last week what her monthly note is. It's $2.5 million a month. She wants $2 million from Dr. Dre. You know, me going through divorce, and I talked about it last week. Definitely on a smaller scale, going through the discovery phase, going through the forensic financials, it was such a pain. And I think going through that, whether there's a prenup or not, they haven't disclosed it. He said there is. She said that he tore it up, blah, 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 blah. Some of the things I just don't get. Laundry, $10,000. Entertainment, $900,000. I want to know, as a woman, is this extremely over the top because he has the money, or is this what she deserves? Your thoughts?
Okay, so my thoughts on it are this. Do I think she deserves it? What's that?
You've been through divorce, correct?
Yeah. I've been through a divorce. We were married for 16 years. We had several lucrative businesses, made a lot of money. Did I, or was I part of making that money? Absolutely. You know, when you're married for that long, what did they say? 24, 26 years they were married, something like that.
20 years, yeah, it's over 20 years.
Yeah, over 20 years. So, you know, as
24 years, right?
right. So as a wife, I mean, she had to have been doing something right because she was there for over 20 years. She was speaking life into her husband. She was doing what she needed to do. I think I read somewhere that she was part of a management, you know, kind of thing for him at some point. Do I think she deserves the $2 million a month? On a scale, yes. Do I think that her lists of what they're for are bullshit? I do. I think she's just putting a label on that money. You know, when you have that kind of money, you spend that kind of money. So I don't think she's being honest on what she's disclosing and spending her money on. I think she just put a label on that to come up with a figure that she's used to spending. You know, if you're spending $135,000 on clothes a month, why the fuck do you have laundry? Like, you shouldn't have any laundry. Okay, like, if anything, you're just donating your clothes.
Yeah, I mean, so as a woman, do you wear, if your clothes is 135,000, are you wearing the same chonies more than once?
No, you're not. You know, and I could, you know, if you're spending that amount of money, what are you dry cleaning? That's just excessive. You know, is she spending stuff on vacations and frivolous spending? Absolutely, we all do, and on a higher scale because they have the money to do it. Do I doubt that she's spending that much? I don't doubt it. When you have that much, you know, more money you have, the more you spend.
Right. So $900,000 on entertainment. What the fuck are you filming a movie at your house?
Exactly.
Jesus.
Entertainment of what? Like, is this for like shows? There's no concerts. COVID's going on. Like, what kind of entertainment? You know, are you hiring bands every night for dinner? Like, do you have like a live 12-piece, you know, orchestra as you eat? Like, what exactly?
Some mariachis or what?
Right, you got a mariachi
world's
band?
most
Like,
expensive mariachis.
right. So I think the labels that she's putting on the amount she's spending is bullshit. Do I think she spends that much? Probably. I know how much I spend, and I don't have near the amount of their money, and I spend like I have their money. So yeah,
I think it's excessive. You know what I mean? Like, so I was in a divorce where the lawyer said that she wanted to maintain her living style, her style of living.
mm-hmm.
Like that, just I don't know. As a man, it eats me up because I understand a woman's there and she's your backbone. You know, my ex-wife was not involved in anything. I kind of kept her out, and probably that's why I'm divorced. But I kept her away from. I don't like the shit where I eat. You know what I mean? I don't like to have a woman that I'm involved in, and maybe I'm selfish. Maybe I'm a selfish prick. I don't know. I just don't like them involved in my day-to-day business. I guess I'm a Michael Corleone. You know what I mean? I'll let you ask me this one time about my business. You know what I mean?
One time. Oh
One
my
time.
God.
Just that one
Get
time.
Hilarious.
You know what I mean?
Better ask them all because you only get one.
Right.
Maybe I feel like maybe it's a fucking trust issue. You know what I mean? Like I just
Right.
like
Yeah, you've always kind of been like that. Everything that you've done, like, yeah.
maybe that's why I'm fucking single. I don't know. But maybe I just don't get it. But like I said, I don't understand. You know, I know she deserves something. Does she deserve half his money? Maybe. You know, I just, like I said, some of the things that what she says, I'm a lost, you know. Charitable
20,000.
contributions, $120.
Right. Yeah.
What the fuck? You know what? We're getting divorced. You can't give away any of my fucking money.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now, and the thing that blows my mind is like her mortgage is like her clothes a month is more than her mortgage a month. That like that kind of says it all right there.
Isn't he
Like,
taking care of the mortgage for the Malibu house? I read. I heard he's taking care of her expenses for the Malibu house.
Right.
So add that in there too.
She's
Right,
got
You know,
her cell phone bill.
Yeah.
What email costs $20,000?
I want to know what carrier she has because T-Mobile
Right.
has a great package.
Right. That's the number one thing that blew my mind was the when Dreak read it to me last week, telephone, cell phone, email, 20,000 a month. I was like, wow, like she had like 10 phones, or I mean, like even then, that's one. So, but it's like you said, Tori. You know, she got it. They got to label stuff to, you know, iron everything out and all that. So I mean, it's kind of obvious what's going on with that. But
And clearly, I'm sure she isn't answering her own phone calls and her own emails.
right.
So,
right,
you know,
yeah.
I'm sure that probably plays a role with the payroll that she's paying these people to keep.
So she should have put receptionist 10,000, split it up or something. I don't know.
Right. But then that looks like business expenses, and
Right.
it's not his business. So.
Right.
Isn't this preliminary right now? These are all just business negotiations, right?
Yeah.
I
No,
know.
of course you're gonna aim high because you're gonna get cut. You know what I mean? If you're the first one.
Mhm.
That
I feel that too. Yeah. She's
So-
putting the pressure on him. She wants him to agree to what she wants. She wants half. She's asking for. So until then, she's going to put the pressure on him. And like me and
Right.
Drake were talking about the other day, you know, that's $2 million a month. Now, what if litigation takes 2 years? You're
Right.
paying $2 million a month for 2 years, and she wants the pressure on him. Make a deal. Let's get this done with. And if he was smart and doesn't want people in his business because he's Dr. Dre, I'm sure all those
Right.
numbers aren't exactly what, you know. There's probably
Right.
some side stuff going on. I wouldn't be wanting people in my business either because that's gonna make me
Right.
sweat.
Yeah.
So
Never know.
going through the divorce, you know, as a prior divorcee, you know, and I know Reynaldo, I don't mean business out, but we're going to talk about it, right?
Let's talk about it.
Divorce. Tori's been through divorce. Alex is going through divorce. So, but going through divorce, I know if you don't have assets and you don't have this and you don't have that, you know, you pay the $250 and call it a fucking day, right?
Yeah. Thank God, mine's easy breezy. Thank God we get along and all that. You know, it's like probably the simplest divorce in the history of divorces. So I'm very blessed for that, for sure. You know.
Now those yours were easy, correct? They were nothing, signed papers and you were done, right? Correct?
For mine,
Oh,
both,
me?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. No, both of mine were quick, man. I said I don't I didn't make 3 years of marriage in both of them, like 3 years. So like I didn't make I'm not varsity squad divorce conversation. I don't know.
Lucky you.
I'm just freshman team. Yeah, because there was no joint assets, there were no children and like that. So like it was just freshman team.
That's funny.
Divorce, and I know we talked about it last week. So you have this, or this arraignment with both of your attorneys and a judge or whatever the case may be. They tell you this is what we want, and at that point you agree or you don't agree, and then if they don't agree, they say, okay, we're going to go through the discovery phase. Discovery phase is basically it's your financials.
Right.
So that's what they're on right now, and then if you're not happy with your financials, the other attorney, then they go through a forensic phase where they have to a forensic accountant go through all your books and stuff. Now, being I guess an entrepreneur or a person that's been self-employed a long time, I hit a lot of money. You know what I mean? And she knew about it. You know what I mean? I didn't really report a lot of stuff. Cars, houses are in mom's and dad's names, and you know what I mean? I guess I have that
Exactly.
mentality. I was afraid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I always have that thing. Is nothing lasts forever, right? So I'm always protecting, some things we're in a trust and, blah, blah, blah. So, they wanted to go through the financials and they weren't happy. So like I said, I know Dr. he's probably on the, he seems like a pretty smart businessman. So I'm pretty sure that he's probably reporting 95% of his income. You know what I mean? He might, you're saying no, but
I don't know. I'm thinking NWA, Dr. Dre.
Right.
You're a gangster.
So you get involved in hiding money, you this and that, and then the investor's knocking at Wesley Snipes' door. That's what I'm saying. So do you think?
Oh yeah, Wesley Snipes.
That's funny. We were just talking about that the other day at my friend's house about Wesley Snipes.
Wesley took it to the whole nother level though. Like he didn't pay no taxes.
Right.
Fuck you, fuck this, fuck everybody.
Neither did Amazon.
Me.
Right.
Exactly.
So, you think he's hiding money? You think, of course, he's got some side deal somewhere that
straight up cash, bro. Cash
Deals.
money. They put cash money in safes. It's probably, it could be underground. It could be, man. They're guys like Birdman and them guys, man. They take cash money out and old school. So I feel what Tori's saying about like NWA Dre. That's what she means. Like, people back in the day, people would they put their cash money in the bank or hide it or whatever.
In a mattress. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, so
it's buried somewhere.
So what happens?
He's got some hiding stuff.
If they think that they think it's not on the up and up. So what's the next step? How do they make you, like, if you've reported this shit, how can they say, oh, you're hiding something? What happens next?
Right. That's a good question.
I'm sorry, I didn't explain this earlier, but I'm really tired. I didn't get much sleep. That's why I got the phone tonight. So if anybody's asking.
So you go 5 hour.
Yeah, thanks, Al.
See if I can get a sponsor. No, go ahead. My bad.
For that, I'm going to
see if I can get a sponsor for Deep Eddie's vodka.
So basically, you get to this understanding, and it's a negotiation, right? You're trying to figure out what you're owed, what you're not, or whatever. So he's claiming that there's a prenup. Okay, so in '96, because I think he got a couple raw deals. So he got a raw deal from Easy Ruthless Records, right? He wasn't what he should have been. He went on to death row. Of course, we know a little bit of his history. He felt like he wasn't getting paid enough. And then he forms Aftermath, and he meets her during that time, and I think he gives her a prenup, right? She says there was, he made me sign it. I was forced into signing it. I was pressured into signing it, and then he said he tore it up, and he says he never tore it up, and he basically never turned it in. So he still says he has it. So basically, he's saying that she doesn't deserve this. But just to remember, in California, I think you're entitled to half no matter what. And I don't know if the prenup oversees that. I don't know.
Right.
But that's basically what's happening.
Okay.
I just put up a little, from 2 days ago. I'll read it. It's pretty short, just to give you guys a broad idea of what's going on. It says down in 21-hour deposition. The divorce battle between Dr. Dre and his estranged wife, Nicole Young, continues. According to the court documents obtained by TMZ, Young is requesting the court to mandate that Dre sit down for a 21-hour deposition to sort through their prenup and other financial issues. She claims that he has already skipped out on a few deposition meetings, and she now wants them to take place in person instead of virtually on Zoom. She's also asked that the court fine him $50,000 for not complying and showing up to participate. And then I think this is what he said. I was extremely reluctant, resistant, and afraid, or that's what she said, and afraid to sign the agreement and felt backed into a corner, Young reportedly said, regarding the prenup and legal documents filed in August. Given the extraordinary pressure and intimidation by Andre, I was left with no option but to hire a lawyer, of course, with the help of Andre's team of professionals, and unwillingly signed the agreement very shortly before our marriage. So that's basically it.
So there you go.
Does the prenup have to be entered into the court? Does that have to be notarized for it to be legit, or as long as she's like, is that like, how does that just, is that what the sticky part is like they don't know if it's legit or not, if one tore it up? I mean, isn't there a file of it, or is that not how it works?
Right. Should be a copy somewhere, right?
You need to file your prenup.
Dude, is that how it works?
As long as you have it and you present
Okay.
it. And I think he has not presented it, as far as I know. And
Okay.
he doesn't want to go to these court sessions or these virtual sessions, probably because he's just saying, fuck you, I'm not doing that.
Right.
God, you can go fuck yourself. I'm not going to give you anything. I don't know.
Right.
That's thoughts. I mean, what do you think, Tori? Do you think he's ducking it because he doesn't want to deal with it?
I kind of feel, yes, I feel that. I feel like he's like, you're not controlling me. You're not telling me what I'm going to have to fucking do. This is that, I feel that he does feel that this prenup that she signed is golden. You would think that it would have to be filed because it kind of makes sense. Isn't that what most people do? But just with like any legal thing, I mean, even if you want to refer to like a fucking Judge Judy, like she's like, hey, are these your text messages? Did you send this? Well,
Right.
you said this,
Sure.
you had agreed upon it. If you agree upon something and it's your signature, it doesn't really matter if you had it notarized or not. This was an agreement between two people. So I think Nicole is probably very worried about that in this sense, which then again goes on to, I feel like it domino affects it all with the 2 million. She's putting pressure on him. She knows some things. He knows she knows some things. And so I think that 2 mil is a pressure a tactic she's using to get this done and over with. And then she's just throwing in the mix of her wanting him to be fined for not showing up, face to face instead of virtually. Because really, what's the difference between doing virtual or face to face? You're still there.
Right. So we didn't touch on this, but I don't know if anybody knows Dr. Dre's history a little bit, but I read it, following him from NWA days. So he had a little bit of a drinking problem, little bit of a criminal record, not to say like pulling a gun, but drinking and driving and stuff like that. So she, I think what she feels is, look, I pulled you from your dark times. That's why, and I think there's been some, if you read or if you heard, he has a little bit of a problem with putting his hands on females. So, I think she's been abused a little bit.
Probably, you're right.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, there's been a lot of things that go on in that amount of time. And even though he's had those problems, think about it. Have you heard of him having a cheating scandal? No.
Nope.
Does she have, when he beats her ass, does she run to the press and say, oh, look at me? No. So there's a lot of things that I don't even need to know, just knowing that in the 16-year relationship I was in, that you hide and you just take it like a G. And so, and that's where I fall in the place where I believe she deserves what, 24 years, they built a life together.
Right. And I kind of always say that too, no matter what, when we talk about sports and stuff like that, I'm like, look, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. It doesn't matter. You know, that sports is opinionated. We can all put our opinions on stuff, but you have no idea what goes on in someone's household, you know, and what anyone goes through, you know. So, yeah, for sure.
And
It's a
more
great
money, more
point. Great
problems.
point.
So,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, we don't know what goes behind closed doors, what happens, you know, what the arguments, and like you said, you've probably never seen her go, but she says, hey, you know what, he did put my hands on me a couple times. You know, he has slapped up some females in the past, and I think it has tied to maybe he does have, you know, a little bit of a drinking problem. So
Anger issues, anger management.
I didn't
I
hear
said anger management, you know,
I mean, you
anger
know,
issues. I mean,
you know, to be honest with you, you know, I've never told anybody this, but when I went through my divorce, you know, I took some of those classes because I didn't, you know, I wanted I wanted to judge to make sure that I wasn't fucking shafted, I guess.
right,
I took the angry managed class before they even, you know, they even said anything. You know, I wanted to be able to deal with life a little better and to give you those a little bit of tools to say, you know, hey, you know, this is what you got to do and decompress a little bit and stuff like that.
right.
You know, that we, you know, as being married, whatever, 9 years, be together, you know, 16 years. You know, there's times where you get heated, right? Or you get heated.
Right.
There's some pushing, you know what I mean?
Right.
And of course, you know, if you start slapping somebody, that you're going over the, you know, but you know,
Right.
you know, I'm pretty sure it's gotten into some heated things. And she,
Right.
you know, I think she deserves something. I don't know if she deserves everything, but like you said, from a female standpoint, maybe she does. You know, we're not the judge of that, and we won't make that final determination.
Right. Hey, and just I was gonna say before, you know, we get off this topic. At the bottom of this this story, it says, in true 50 Cent fashion, of course, he had to add his 2 cents, and he had wrote on Instagram, 21-hour deposition and OJ is out. Wait, let me think. 50 Cent's crazy. 50 Cent's crazy, man. He's always got some. He's always speaking on somebody's business.
He's doing too much always.
It's hilarious.
He always got something to say.
It was the episode where we talked about the Jada Pinkett Will Smith thing, and I guess he sent a private message to Will Smith. Like,
of course he did.
You know what I mean? Like, what, you know, 50 Cent was like, what the fuck? Well, you know, your lady out here fucking people, you know what I'm saying? And then, he, you know, they're supposed to be friends. He's like, yo, dog, that you crossed the line.
Right?
He don't care. He wants some headlines. That's all. He wants some retweets and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
Guy is silly, man.
So he basically was saying, what the fuck, you know what I mean? So, and I mean, there's another rapper that's made some money off endorsements and stuff like that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
He probably wouldn't be in the position if he didn't.
Right. Vitamin water.
The Beats deal, you know what I mean? Some of the deals that he's made has made him the money, you know what I mean? So,
Was he co-partner in Bellator or something like that, too? Did he do some MMA promotion?
what is it?
Yeah, he was trying to get involved in a lot of he was trying to. That's kind of where him and Mayweather fell off, you know, as friends. He was trying to be, he wanted to be more involved in his promotions and all of that. Yeah, and Mayweather was like, you know, no. He says he still kind of he says he can in an interview not that long ago, he said that he has that, like, he can, like, pretty much break Floyd Mayweather, and they were going back and forth, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah,
that's crazy. I remember our me and my you know, my wife, still legally my wife. It was about, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something, and we were watching TV, and we kind of had this little it wasn't an argument, but we were talking about, like, Mayweather and 50 Cent, and I had told her, I said, you know, I was like, who do you think got more money? And she was like, 50 Cent. And I was like, what? I was like, you're crazy. And then so we looked it up and everything, and yeah, she was right. She was like, just from that vitamin water alone, I don't know how she knew that, but she was like, and, you know, I'm thinking Mayweather's making all this money. He had just got through making, like, you know, almost that 70 mil or whatever it was from the De La Hoya fight or whatever. And yeah, I was like, dang, my bad. Maybe I don't know everything about sports and stuff, you know, entertainment. But yeah, he was like, he had Mayweather by like 100 million or something. It was crazy. Can't remember, but yeah, I was wrong. You're
wrong. All right, so, you know, we're staying in kind of the hip hop thing. and then Reynaldo will go to you, and then we'll probably close it out. But it was one of the things, we're just trying to do some goofy stuff or whatever. So I think I put on the thing, top 5 hip hop rappers, and this is probably me based. Definitely, I'll take your take. So, Alex, and then I'll give you mine since we're talking about the doctor.
Yeah, I want to know what I want to know. Maybe they can give us 3 or something like that. I'm always interested to hear what other people's lists, but
wow.
Right. Oh, you know what? It took me a minute, and I was trying to have fun with it yesterday, and I was like, "There's so many greats." But yeah, I'll hurry up and go through it. And I was listening. Yet.
Well, let's see what Tori got to say first. I want to hear what Tori got to say.
Oh,
Yeah,
I want to hear what
okay.
you got to say because I'm interested to know what your top are here.
I was listening last night, and I was like, you know what? I was like, duh. So my number 1 is L. I had to go to the back in the day. It was LL Cool J. I mean, that guy is just. I mean, he's done it all. He's so versatile and just been doing it forever. So, and they call him the GOAT. I kind of believe he is. So I got LL Cool J, and then number 2 I got Snoop Dogg. That guy's still doing his thing. And number 3 is I think he would have been number 1 right now. I love Big Pun. He passed away too early. And then of course I got Eminem number 4, and then the last one, it was kind of hard, but I started thinking about Dreak's favorite rapper, and so I put KRS-One, and I put a slash with Royce the 5'9". So yeah, KRS-One. I want just a quick story. I had asked Dreak one time. I asked him back when we was DJing as to who's your favorite rapper. And he said KRS-One, and I was just like, dang, I really, I know who he is. I listen to him, but I never was really listened to him. And we went downtown one time to a concert, and I don't know where it was at. It was like an auditorium or something like that. And we actually got to see Yeah, where was it at?
Church. It was at a church on the east.
Okay, yeah, okay. And there wasn't that many people in there. It was a small crowd, and I got to see him live, like right there in front of us. And it was crazy because the sound engineers actually only got paid, I guess, to a certain point. So they just cut the music off and everything. And Royce and KRS-One was like, we're going to do it old school, and we don't need no music. So hearing him live, when I left there, I had newfound respect for him. So
That's
KRS-One. And the thing that caught my ear was like, not that it really matters all the time, but he didn't even say one curse word, man. Like, he didn't use one curse word in like probably the whole everything he, all his lyrics. So that just kind of stuck in my head, and I was like, wow, this guy's amazing, man. So yeah, for sure, he's one of the legends.
Agreed completely.
But yeah, that's my list.
All right, Nalo, you go. You're next. Go ahead.
Man, dude, all of my real hip hop influence came from you and your brother, man. All these mixtapes, mixtapes, like they're from Detroit. I'm in Arizona, so I got this West Coast influence and stuff like that. But I'm hearing all of this like these '70s James Brown beats and all of this stuff that I didn't know sampling at the time, but I was like, holy shit!
Right.
And it was all because of Enrique and Esteban, and they give me
Z-Trip
for all
guys like him, yo.
And my mom would hear that she'd hear the cussing, and I laugh, you'd hear the cussing, and she'd steal the tape. And I'd have to go to Stella. I'm like, hey, I need a new tape. My mom took it, and I had to get a new tape.
That's hilarious.
So infectious. There was no like Far Side, Mad Lion.
Right. Wow.
Deep cuts. But
that's real hip hop right there. Yeah, for sure.
And then you're on the spot right now, so I'm gonna do 3 new. Like, I think for me, like, is I was gonna say KRS-One, because like when you talked about KRS-One, he elevated your consciousness when you listen to him. Like he always I didn't know like the shit that we're seeing on TV now, like all the shit those guys have been telling us for decades. For decades they've been telling us about this shit. So I was like, wow. And so if you listen to that music, you understood the struggle. You didn't have to go to the hood to understand that, and that's why it was powerful music. Oh, I'm sorry, I get off. I love music.
No, you're right.
No, KRS-One,
Tupac, same way.
I was just gonna say Tupac too. Yeah.
He should be on my list. I feel bad, but it's okay.
Guru for me.
Yeah,
like Guru,
rest in peace.
Those that, like, to me, and then I'll say Nas. There's something about Nas and his the way he would flow.
Nas is on my list
for sure.
Snoop, because of his delivery,
Right. It's so smooth, man.
It's like
so
a guitar
smooth.
solo. Like you hear that, you're like, oh, that's Stevie Ray Vaughan, or oh shit, that's Santana. And these, like, he has his own little tone. I love it, man. So like, and then of course, I think Kara's one is like, that's on top for me. But I don't know, Tupac his poetry was like really like,
He was far beyond his time.
deep in perspective. Give it in a vernacular that we all understood, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome list right there, man.
All right, Tori, you're up.
Well, actually, I was agreeing with KRS-One, and Nas is on my list as well. I was a huge Eric B. and Rakim fan, though. So that's what I grew up
That's
on.
Dreak stuff right there.
Yeah. So Eric B. Rakim, and you already named my man, LL. Like, ladies love LL. I had the bamboo earrings, 2 pairs. Like, okay, there was no telling me shit when I had them on. And then, I'm laughing because you got your Ice Cube shirt on, and I literally almost wore the exact same shirt today.
Wow.
And I'm looking at your shirt, and I'm like, shut up. Like, I have the same one. Yeah. So, little funny story. So,
but you're better than his.
What's that?
I said, I'm not trying to be anything, but your shirt looks way better than his.
Thanks. I told you I got that new tattoo yesterday, so I'm like barely moving, and I put the Ice Cube shirt on, and I'm like, okay, this is too restricting. I need a little more space.
Show love. Ice Cube's.
Ice Cube's the G, man. Like he's legitimately
he was just
in our community now. Like he's meeting with he's like, no, you're to us.
And I have like a couple guys that I like I say like if I could have them as a mentor. And number one for me is The Rock. That guy is just 24/7 nonstop. I love Dwayne Johnson, man. He's and then like I said, and the Ice Cube, because they're so smart. It's just like, business. It don't matter what they put their hands on. They're just so smart with it. And I love that. And they're positive. They're always positive. So
always.
I like his activism now. Like he's really turning into an activist, and he's like, nah. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, and he doesn't care if he shakes it up. He doesn't care if he shakes it up. Yeah.
I love it.
But he's always been that way. I mean, look at Fuck the Police. Like he's always been that way. And
like that's the best part.
What needs to be said.
That's the best part of the whole the Straight Outta Compton movie is when he was such a smart, like he already knew what he wanted to do. He was like, I don't want to deal with this shit with these guys. He left and created an enterprise of his own, and just like Dr. Dre. So like real smart. I always appreciated that when it came with Ice Cube. So
always bet on yourself, man. Double down.
Right for sure.
Ever make yourself, man. It's the greatest return. Like he did it
for sure.
All right, so you
said, absolutely.
What does LL Cool J stand for? Let me find out if you
I'm sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Since you said LL Cool J, I want to see if you're a real fan. What does LL?
You're cutting out.
Oh, since you're a true fan, LL Cool J, right? Mm-hmm. What does LL Cool J stand for?
Ladies love Cool J.
She knows that, man.
Ladies love.
She knows it.
Okay. Hello.
When I first heard
get my bamboo earrings right now.
When I first heard what that stood for, I was like, oh my God, he is the man. Jesus.
Oh, and when he put that Kango on, Lord, shut it down with
I wanted to wear one of those just because of him.
Just cause.
I know.
He was just so smooth with it.
In hip hop.
Oh yeah. It's funny because I used to I would post stuff of like either his video or I would say something about him on Facebook, and I would always put hashtag get your chapstick or hashtag chapstick or something. Yeah, I used to be at work doing that, like, and my boys would be laughing. I was like, man, I got what I'm saying, I gotta have do my LL and shit, man. Like, that's so funny, man.
He's the originator of the lip filler.
Right.
Definitely Rakim, the God. I've seen him in concert many times. I haven't seen him as up and personal as the Blastmaster Cast one, but I've been to Rakim's concert. Eric B. and Rakim, I've been to Rakim only. Eric B. weren't together, and I've been to Rakim concert recently in Vegas a couple years ago, but I got to give hats off to the God. So Blastmaster Cast one, I've been to pretty much anytime he's ever come to the Valley, one in Detroit and Alex mentioned, his delivery, his cipher, on a personal level, if you have never been to a hip hop concert where you're up close and personal with a hip hop artist, it's something you have to. I got to be honest with you. You know, we're talking 20 people in a room, and he's fucking flowing. And like I said, I think probably top five. I kind of put Tupac and Notorious B.I.G.
Right.
You know what I mean? Both of them had great delivery. Notorious Big, probably more mainstream hip hop. You know, Tupac got the kind of the underground, kind of, Black Power, some of that stuff. But I would say those guys. So I would say number three. Number four, I probably would say, probably Nas and Coogee Rap, just being
Coogee Rap.
Hey.
I have never seen either one of them. I would love to see at least, one of them. Number five, I probably would say Method Man, but
I was just thinking
I
him.
was thinking Method Man and Red.
Right, Redman. Yeah, I love Redman. That's like even Eminem's favorites. He loved Coogee Rap. Eminem loved Coogee Rap. Redman. Rakim, them guys like that. It's hard to narrow five down, but yeah.
I got to
sure.
meet Redman. It wasn't on a music tip. Actually, I smoked weed with him, but
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, me and
Isn't
my
that a gift? If you're hanging out,
I know,
with
right? So me and my
Right.
ex-husband, we've had many businesses, but we had a window cleaning maintenance company, and it was in Ferndale, and our business was connected with Eminem's studio where he would record Sound 54, where all the greats like the Ramones, and it had been there for forever. So he was outside in the back. And I pull up and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like instantly, I'm like super fan. I don't know what to do. Like, this is my business. And I'm like, oh my God, I got weed. Okay, yeah, I'm going to offer him. And I'm like, how do I approach him? And I get out and he's like, what up, Ma? And I'm like, oh yes. So he starts talking to me.
Right.
Dude, he really is who he is. He was waiting on a cab. He's waiting on a cab.
Wow. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
of all the things. And I'm like, dude, you sure don't need a ride? He's like, no, I'm good. I always take cabs. And he had just did that. Remember when he did the
I'll be that.
When he did the MTV Cribs, and they came to his house, and like he was like the doorbell didn't work, and he was putting wires together, and dude, he's so down to earth, real.
Yeah,
cool
he's awesome. That's crazy.
Cool than a motherfucker. Yeah, so I got to smoke with Redman, and that
that's cool.
That was like the highlight. He's just super dope. Good dude.
That's
good
awesome.
dude, for sure. Yeah.
It has to do with a girl, of course. Reynaldo and I probably know me, but so he was talking to a girl in Grosse Pointe that I was talking to, or he was fucking probably, of course, I don't know.
Right.
So
you guys were kind of like brother-in-laws? Husband wives?
Huh?
Husband wives? You were husband wives?
Yeah, we were husband wives. I ran into him. I guess he was leaving his house, and I had a buddy of mine with me. We ran into him on the freeway. I believe we were going eastbound. We were going basically east, you know what I mean? We were going that way, and we were on the expressway. And he was in a Suburban, and I was in my Expedition. And I didn't know he came from there, but I dropped something off, and maybe he went somewhere, and he must have came from there because she told me he just left or whatever. And we're going down the freeway, and I turn over, and his guy's name's Gary. He's like, yeah, that's that bitch. And I was like, some people in Detroit hate him or whatever. I rolled down the window.
Right.
He rolled down the window, and he gave me the maddest fucking mad dog look. Rolled the window up and fucking hit the gas like we were going to rob him or something. So he took off, and I mean, we're going on the freeway, and he started accelerating pretty fast. So that was my Eminem. I don't think we ever did anything house that when she was. I think, like I said, he just said, "Oh, he just left" or whatever.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's just a. So
Yeah.
Reynaldo, we're going to you. So real quick, so Reynaldo is, I would say, rhythm and blues. I don't know if I would say Clash / R&B, but rhythm and blues. He says with a twist. Then he's been a musician for pretty much all his life, right? You've been doing things in the church all the way up to right now. So you're in Minnesota. You come back and forth. You're playing at some bars. Tell me a little bit. What would you say is your biggest influence? Who was your biggest influence? Who's your biggest influence?
Right.
And what made you say, you know what, I want to be a musician?
The first one's a hell of a lot easier than the second one because I ask myself that question all the time. Why in the hell do I want to be a musician? Sometimes it's the hell of a road. But it's funny. Everything that you talk, I didn't come to music till later on in life. So I was playing. Was a jock, and I played football, and I got injured in a football game in high school, and then I blew my knee out. So I had a lot of time, to heal up, and that's when I taught myself how to play. I brought the guitar, and I basically taught myself how to play, and it evolved into this whole different type of thing. But I find myself now seeing the influences of KRS-One and of Rakim and of Vicente Fernandez and of Hank Williams and and Ray Charles. And what I found out what influences me is it isn't just like one necessarily particular group, although there's one group that I love. It's called the Funk Brothers, and they're from Detroit. And the Funk Brothers are the house band for every Marvin Gaye, Temptations, the Four Tops, all those hits that they were bringing out in Hitsville. The studio cats were the same guys playing all the drums and Jamerson, and so that's my favorite band. I think that music made me so excited. But as far as like what influenced me, it's storytellers. Aretha Franklin, whoever great storyteller. And it could be a hip hop artist, it can be a mariachi singer, it could be a country singer. It could be a soul singer. It could be R&B. Baby, I love you. Baby, I miss you. Baby, I hate you. Like all of that stuff is like tell a good story. I think to me that's what inspires me to be a writer. I think, and I think sometimes I think of myself as a writer first, and I just happen to have the mechanisms to communicate the stories that I want to tell. So yeah. I know how to get into it. Honestly, man, like I said, I picked it up. It started with me teaching myself how to play guitar. Then it grew into like, oh, I can actually learn songs. And then I was like, oh, now I can do it in the church because the youth group needed some music. And I was like, oh, now this became a utility. And then I was like, oh, now I can express myself and write my own song. And then it was like, and then I just found a home for it. And then once you kind of do it, it's it's like that whole cliche statement, like, the first time I did it, I knew it was never going to go back. And that's exactly what it was. Like, I got it. Because for me, the live performance is so, it's a tightrope because where else you get to go into an artist, a painter and look over the shoulder while they're on the canvas. Like you don't get a chance to do that. Right. But live music, you get to see everyone creating right then and there, and I think it's a really cool experience. Yeah. So I think that's why I do it. And pay me to sing.
You said live audience. You get some type of orgasm when you play.
It's an orgasm. Musical orgasm.
You know what I mean?
Sure. No, I get what you're saying. Not necessarily an orgasm, but
crowd.
But what it is like that. You can tell the way I talk, and I'm kind of like a little animated. Like I have to. A lot of times in the regular word, you got to tone that stuff back. You got to talk a little slower. You got to be. You got to bring your volume down because you got to interact. You
got to know how to actually entertain.
But being able to write it, to perform that music, it's like I get to be as extra as I want to be in the sense that if I'm writing a love song, I'm going to be as loving as I want to be at that moment. Right. That's super freeing. And if I want to, and it's that song, I'm drawing Bob Seger on, I want to think about being the traveler and the road again. Yeah. I'll go there and I could be but you can't do that in the everyday world. I can't feel every emotion in every great spectrum, but I can when I play music. And so to me, it's not orgasm or euphoria, but it's like, yo, I'm completely myself. And then when the music stops, I'm like, oh, I open my eyes and I'm like, oh, there are people here. And you know what I mean?
Right.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
It's a magic that I can't explain.
You just gave me goosebumps. Like,
It's
seriously.
And Reynaldo, if I can ask you, like I went a few months ago, I went with a friend, and it was crazy because she just came across this band, and she played a song for me, sent me a couple songs, and they were actually in Ferndale, so we went and checked them out. It was like at one of the just a small bar. But the name of the band, and man, they are so like the name of the band is Duran Jones and the Indications.
Yes.
And they man, they're like so like they reminded me of the oldies and just like newer. They were amazing, man. And I haven't seen a live band in a real long time. And we went and checked them out, and that's like they were so amazing. Like I couldn't wait to see them again. And they were actually coming down in June. They were going to be downtown, and you know, because everything happened. So I followed them on. I mean, like it was crazy because like one of the drummers, he started singing. I was like, I'm looking like who is that? Who's that? Yeah. Aaron Frazier is his name.
I followed him on Instagram.
And he was singing, man. Anyways, she bought the album there, and like you know, we started listening to the whole album and everything. And we're like, oh yeah, you know that's. Or we had like a favorite song and stuff like that. But yeah, they're just amazing. They're like a breath of fresh air, man. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. Amazing.
Plug their name again?
Duran Jones and the Indications.
I can't wait.
Yeah, if you check them out, check it for real.
Yeah,
like you,
for real.
I was just blown away by I was like, oh my god, because I love oldies. I grew up. My mother has A to Z oldies, 45s, and you know I grew up on all of that stuff like that. Like you know.
My mother was married to Smokey Robinson.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Literally.
My mother went. She went. The only story I got is my mother actually went to. I forgot what the name of the school is. Dreak. I don't know if you can remember. Somewhere over there by like 12th Street. You know where we grew up at. But she went to school with Stevie Wonder. She wasn't in the same class because he had he was blind, so they had him in a different room. But yeah, But yeah, I grew up on oldies, so I'm a big oldies fan to the core, man. And that group really took me back. Yeah, you got to definitely check them out. Duran Jones and the Indications, they're pretty amazing, man. The guy that sings, he'll talk about guys like Smokey Robinson and like check this guy out, the lead singer. Man, he had girls in that bar. They were going crazy just because of the way, like his voice. He was amazing. Yeah, and he was into it. Like in Reynaldo, I'm sure you've seen him, so you know what he's about, man. I love them, man. They're so like they're just great. Throwback, like a motherfucker.
And it would make complete sense if they would go to Detroit because they're influenced by that music, that heartbeat, that gig, everything, you know, for sure. Like and honestly, man, when I'm trying to write a song or produce a song or put something together, I still think about like, I think like, how would they do it in Studio A? Like, how would James Jamerson play bass, and how would because there's something about like that was a magic that music that had it. And to me, it's just a feeling. Everything's about emotion and getting that pocket, and it's just.
A lot too, that time, that era, like you only had one chance to get it right. You know, you didn't have auto tune, you didn't have all these productions and all this stuff to go into the mix to fix your voice.
Sure.
So when they poured themselves into their song, I mean, they poured all of what they had. And sometimes you had to perform the entire thing in one take. You know, there was no, redo and let's play that hook again, and none of that. So
there was no tracking system. So
no.
Tracks or one track, you had just one room, and that was a cool part about it. These guys would mix themselves and do
just pure raw talent and emotion poured into it.
And
absolutely.
Experience like that cohesion, like you're actually people like seeing that shit happen, like that. They were just recording that. Like nowadays, like we cut everything up, like you do the bass first, drums first, whatever. But at the time, like everyone was there, and so you got to capture that magic at that one time.
Magic.
It was a hot track, you know.
Magic. For sure.
I'm gonna look before I forget. I'm gonna look you guys up. I don't know if you're on Facebook or Instagram, but
so it's Reynaldo Moreno Music, and that's for my YouTube channel. That's my Instagram, my Facebook. So ReynaldoMore. Yeah, music. It's all one word, and I'm sure Keith will put some links up and shit like that. So
Right, and I actually found you, Tori. So I'm gonna I just sent you a friend request,
Okay.
and I'll screenshot that band from Instagram and send you the picture because I really want you to check them out. You'll like them.
I like Aaron
Yeah, for
Fraser.
sure.
I follow him on Instagram. He's real active.
Right.
He's real active, man. Like,
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing about it. Like that higher level consciousness just creates like that music that elevates you.
Yeah,
You know?
like
I love it.
He kind of reminded me a little bit of like I don't know, not exactly, but like Justin Timberlake, the way when he started singing. But maybe even he was great, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this guy.
Yeah.
Singing, not you got that high pitched tone, like
Yeah.
That's soulful. Yeah.
yeah, big time.
Is It Any Wonder? Is like you could find them. If you look, Is It Any Wonder? It's a great tune, and that's like a
that's the song that me and my
Is It
friend
Any
were like,
Wonder?
oh man, he tore that up. But that's the song right there.
Y'all got me excited to check it out. I'm excited. I love a good soulful elevation. People who are present in just their higher vibration.
I said, well, buckle up, Miss T. I'm about to drop something in a second. What do you say, Kika?
Hey.
So it's been about 2 years. You're working on your new album. What was 2 years ago? What was the name of your album?
The Minnehaha recording section. I actually just went in there. It was just an acoustic album. Like I'm gonna do today. It's just it was just there for one.
He goes live there, Alex.
Huh? No, go ahead. I'm
You have any
ready
questions?
to listen, man.
Yeah. It was just called the Minnehaha recording session, and it was just me going in there with a guitar, and it was I did that whole I think it's like 16 tracks, 15 tracks. I just did it all in one session, just kind of all because I wanted it just to be out there. I wanted to get some momentum. So like I'm doing some other studio like productions now, and like we're building some other music together with other instruments and things like that.
Okay. You gonna play guitar? You gonna get on the guitar?
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Tori, you got any other questions before he goes?
No, not at all. I'm ready.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Reynaldo Moreno. He's gonna. It looks like he got his acoustic guitar. Go ahead. What's the name of this song?
I'm trying to think of like because I probably we're what's our timeline? Because I'm good with just dropping one and then you know what I mean. But,
That's cool.
Yeah.
all right, so I was trying to think about which one to do, and like since we already talked about hip hop, and I feel like this song is a hip hop influenced tune, and it's a song called Jezebel. And I think Enrique, you'll appreciate the themes of this song. It's pretty fun. So here we go. Should have known soon I would become a victim of that selfish kind of love, the kind of love where I can't see what's in front of me. I can't help that I'm addicted to every little sexy thing you do. I'm hanging on every movement of your hips, and your friends, they try to tell me that you're a cold-blooded Jezebel, but I just can't let it go. But I got the feeling that I'm not the only one. You got me believing that your heart is an open door. Stop with your thieving. I'm playing this fool just like a game. I said I wanna say that this will be the last time, but I know I'm gonna need it again. I said I know I'm gonna need it again. Looks like I'm in this shit again, messing with that silly kind of love where I can't see what's in front of me. I can't help that I'm addicted to every little sexy thing you do. I'm hanging on every movement of your hips, and your friends, they try to tell me that you're a cold-blooded Jezebel, but I just can't let it go. But I got the feeling that I'm not the only one, but got me believing that your heart is an open door. Stop with your thieving, playing this fool just like a game. I said I wanna sing, this will be the last time. Oh, I'm hoping this will be the last time. Oh, I'm praying that this will be the last time. What Papa needs is medicine. Oh, I said I got the feeling. I said I got the feeling.
Wow, man. That was freaking amazing, man.
That was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was in
Be
it.
the way, man.
I was
Wow.
in it.
I love that song already.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna put you on my list, bro. That was amazing, man. Wow. real.
That was great. Good
A lot of
job.
people identify. Thank you so much. A lot of people identify with that tune. You know what I mean? It's funny. I find the more honest I get about the situations and putting
You
it
had
out
me
there,
thinking.
everyone.
Mhm.
You had me
I was
thinking
like,
about.
am I a Jezebel?
Wow, that was like for real, like.
And that's at the end, you know. But Papa needs some medicine. You know you're gonna go back.
Okay.
You gotta go
I
back.
think that's my favorite line.
Yeah, I love
Wow,
that. Man.
yeah,
All right, you got your
that was
next.
great.
Yeah.
Good.
So this one, and it sounds cheesy, but I hope you know it's sincere. Like this is dedicated to you guys because like it's a song I wrote after my first divorce. And once again, another honest life situation that I was just honest about, and it came out. It's not as necessarily catchy and clever, but I think so many people have once again come out and said, "Oh, I really responded to the song." And a real cool story is I was moving back from Minnesota to Arizona. I found the notebook that I actually song I wrote, and there's like it's on a notepad, and there's like the water droplets you can see from my tears.
Wow,
It was so crazy. So like. And that's the thing I love about music is because you take like we've all experienced this hard. Everyone's experienced hard. It doesn't matter if you're divorced or not. You've been experienced, and like, but music makes all of your tragedy and all of your suffering and makes it. You got to make it pretty because it's got to be pretty to the ear. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I love.
Right.
If you're pissed, you're sad, or you're in love, like everything has to be in this little beautiful package of music, so we can digest it. And I think it forces you to just elevate your consciousness.
And you know what? It's crazy. You say that. Just a friend of mine. She used to tell me like she had her own like breakup playlist for I don't know how long, and she would and for me, I'm a Cancer. I'm real. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm very emotional, and and like I used to ask her like, God, how can you like listen to these songs? Like sometimes like I love music and all that, but I have to be in the mood. Like she was like, because that's the only way you can. You can get through it, and you gotta put yourself through that pain sometimes, and just. She goes, I got my own playlist, and my whatever broke up, when she broke up with her boyfriends back in the day or whatever, stuff like that. And I used to be like, okay, like, I play a song, I'm gonna start crying, just curl up in the bed. But I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying.
Because it's the human experience. There's
that's I usually do my phone book.
You're silly.
That I have.
But
that's everybody deals with. Things different. You listen.
Right.
I go through my phone book, but go ahead.
I love that. No, I think that's the thing about it. It's just there's something very satisfying in hearing whatever you're dealing with inside verbalized. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
Right.
Word from a friend over coffee, or sometimes Smokey Robinson is saying, "Ooh, baby," and you're
that was my dad's. That was my dad's. That was my dad's favorite, man. Smokey Robinson. My dad would dance whenever my dad would dance, and I didn't notice till after he passed. My cousin told me he was like, you know why he would always move his hands like that when he danced? And I was like, no, he was like, because Smokey Robinson did that. And I was like, wow. And my father's like, but yeah, that. So whenever anything Smokey Robinson, my father loved him. So I listened to a lot of Smokey Robinson. So that's crazy that with like you said, Tori, that wow.
Yeah. My mother would clean the house to it. We would be driving to school.
Right. Thanks for sharing that. My dad loves Smokey
You don't appreciate
Robinson,
it till you get older. And I'm telling you, when Aretha passed, and
Right.
he spoke at her funeral.
Oh, wow.
I am a sobbing mess. I'm
Right.
playing it live, and I had some errands to run, and so I'm at a gas station. I was back in Detroit still, and I'm at a gas station, and I'm crying as I'm pumping gas because
Right.
Smokey is talking about how they met, and I'm just like, all
Yeah.
the childhood memories come back, and I'm like, oh my God, I
Right.
love him. Like,
For sure. For sure.
So,
Right.
but there's so much emotion in that music, and yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely not music like that these days. So I'm
Oh,
excited
no.
to check out
Not
group you
even
were talking about.
close.
I'll let you get to the. I don't. It's not my story, but Aretha Franklin. You know, the riots happened in 1968 in Detroit in the summer. My dad was what is that called? A reserve cop? What do you call that? Where
Yeah.
you, okay, he's a reserve cop. He's at the
Mhm.
hotel, and he's guarding Aretha Franklin because of the riot. But go ahead.
Really? Wow.
No, sometimes it's just. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Let you go. I just thought that was kind of funny that you go.
Right.
Mhm.
But I'll let
I'm
you
ready
go.
for another jam.
Give it a second too.
We'll do second two. Okay. All right. Okay. Now this, like I said, this one is like I said, a little heartbreak one. We'll take a little trip.
Okay.
All right.
So I walk these streets, trying to find my crowd, searching for sweet familiarity in the midst of the light. I'm trying to find the reasons why I'm left by my own side. Since all I have are my thoughts, that's where I reside. Did I give too much of my heart? Did I make you feel like you were my world? Did I promise you that I'd never leave? Maybe that was too much. Please tell me. Don't wanna be haunted by the memories. Don't wanna relive each tear I've cried. And I know that time will still be passing. Still I wonder why. Did I give too much of my heart? Did I make you feel like you were my world? Did I promise you I'd never leave? Maybe that was too much. I know I can walk away, knowing it's my heart I gave. I give it all to you. And even though the lights grow dim on what could have been, that was the best that I could do. Did I give too much of my heart? Did I make you feel like you were my world? Did I promise you that I'd never leave? Maybe that was too much, or maybe not enough. Please tell me. Oh, please tell me.
Hey man, nothing like an
Uh,
early Saturday cry.
Right?
That was awesome, man.
That
Wow,
was a
beautiful
good
song,
one.
beautiful song. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny too because when I wrote that, I was like, "Is that too much?" Because I was mad. I was mad. Like, oh wait a minute, I told you I gave you everything. Like, was that too much? But the way it came out, when it finally like got all on paper and like the words, I was like, "This is not what I intended."
You reminded me of John Mayer just now.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I had some John Mayer coming through. I mean, you had a little soul. You had.
For sure.
I felt a little. I felt
little smoky.
A
I
little
was thinking
smoky. I felt. Yeah, I felt
For
some soul.
sure.
I felt some. Yeah.
I was in the
Some of
studio.
the notes. I'm like, woo.
Thank you very much.
Took me back.
Jesus.
And some gal was in the booth, and I got back from doing whatever I was gonna do, and I came back, and she looked at me, and she goes, "You sound like John Mayer and Teddy Pendergast." And I was
Damn.
Yes. Oh, there it is. There it is. I used to play
Wow.
John Mayer every morning for the kids. You know, I'm big on elevating yourself, you know, and so you know, in the morning when you, again, let's take it back to my marriage. It wasn't always the best. So once that part of our life got over and I realized, you know, they had been experiencing certain things in the relationship, and every morning, you know, whatever happens with you in the morning and your partner affects them and when they go to school. And so I had to switch it up, and I came up with putting on John Mayer every morning. We would blast it, and my kids would have the greatest day at school. Every morning we'd play John Mayer's record. And so when you sang that just, not only did it take me back to that time, but it took me back to a time of healing. And that time, you know, your words and just that moment. Yeah, you took me there on a Saturday morning. Okay.
John Mayer,
for sure.
I've seen him like 3 or 4 times in concert. I own all his albums. He's a really, really good artist, and he's someone who, like, very influential to me. Like someone who took like the blues, but added this soul, but pop, and I feel like mine's, like I said, I got a little bit more a different influence than necessarily the blues, but it definitely comes through. But it's always this, it's the soul lens. I don't care what I'm singing. It could be, I covered lots of stuff. I did a lot of John Mayer last night. I did some of his classics. But yeah, I just
you're John with the Teddy twist, like you had it.
You got a lot of different like when you're singing, like I said, like I thought about like 3, 4, you know, different artists and stuff like that. It's just, but it's you put it together so well, man. It's a beautiful song. And I'm not a songwriter or nothing like that, but I know music, so.
No, but that was a good one, and like you said, a storyteller too. Whew.
But you have to know what tastes good. You know what I'm saying?
Right. For sure.
So all those things are valid. Don't ever.
I like that line. I might have to borrow that one. I might have to borrow that.
So I
if I spell letter, it's my. What's that again?
I had a question. So you wrote that after your first divorce?
Yeah, I wrote it after the divorce.
So, I mean, I know we didn't really talk about like, hey, what the fuck, you know, what happened or whatever.
Yeah.
You're here, things don't work out, and was it mutual or was it, you know what I mean? Like, because you wrote a touching song, is it because you felt like you got screwed? I mean, what made you feel that I had to write this song? You know what I mean?
Everything was processing the grief. I'm very aware, like being a songwriter and having this outlet to let that stuff happen. Like I think I'm mindful to let that emotion just be that emotion at that time. So maybe I did feel screwed. But that obviously is not how I felt, how I feel now. But I think what I just was just the grief. I was just like, because I was processing it. Because because in the terms of like, it's one thing when you're with someone as like a boyfriend or girlfriend, but it's a marriage. Like y'all, like at least for in my mind, and I was dealing with that. Obviously, you guys know my faith background, so the marriage had a quite a heavy sanctity to it, and so that this was crumbling, and which meant that a lot of even my belief systems were kind of being challenged now. So there was a lot going on there, and I'm just like, what's going on? Did I do this? Did I do wrong? So I think it was just these questions of like, what did I do? It was that period of that questioning period of grief is really what it was, like questioning that, you know, and I'm glad that I was able to put that on paper instead of, you know, deeper into a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen
Well, I got to be honest.
Because it is a grief. It is a grief.
Yeah, the divorce, you know, they say it's like a death. You know what I mean?
It is.
It is.
So,
and like I said, I don't have as much time as y'all have. Like I said, I'm barely. We didn't get it started. Like, and that was painful. It was extremely painful.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Probably felt like it happened so fast. You know, everything happened so fast. Like, But it's like a death. I've definitely read a lot of articles and even through therapy and stuff like that. And you read this like you have to grieving process. You have to grieve this over. You have to process this all. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I had no, you know, I didn't have children that I had to like put on a face for and be a stable for while they're
right.
Like I
which can kind of make it even a lot more rougher, you know, because you don't,
absolutely.
you had, you know, it was just when you have children, you have to push forward like for them, and for me, it was hard when, you know, when me and my wife separated. Yeah. It was very, very hard, you know. We only have my one daughter, and you know, I never thought that would happen to me. You know what I mean? Like I used to tell my mother when I was younger, like when I'm ready to get married, I'm ready to get married. But you know, and you know, I got married 2011. We were together since 2003. So yeah, I just, you know, and you know, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't you know, like there was no cheating. There was no putting hands on, nothing like that. It just didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
You know, it just didn't work out for, you know, I was kind of bad financially. You know, maybe I wasn't ready for marriage even at the age when I got married. I don't know, but it's all life lessons, and you know, I'm to the point where now I'm just trying to be strong for my daughter. For both, I got two daughters. For both my daughters, my oldest daughter's 19. She's already on her own. I'm a grandfather. I was a grandfather like 37, so my daughters should be 20, whatever, and then I got my youngest one who's going to be 16 October 4th. So yeah, I mean, it's all life lessons. Like I said, you know, not, you know, everything, it can't be, you know, we don't get what we want all the time. So, you know,
you live or you learn.
right. So, you know, it is what it is. And thank God I had, you know, my cousin, you know, to be there for me, and a couple other family members to, you know, kind of guide me and, you know, just let me know everything's going to be all right, and just, you know, have somebody to talk to.
Yep.
Because I can't play the guitar, so you know, I can't. So, but you know, and like I said, you know, I'm glad we did this podcast together, because now I'm gonna be more open to, like I said, you know, I'm gonna start putting it back on 98.7 and listening to you know, some Phil Collins and all that, because I was doing that for a while, and then it just became too much, and I was just like, oh my God, I gotta shut this off. I can't even sleep. So, but, you know, I got to be more open, and just, like you said, just, you know, deal with the grief in a positive way, you know, so.
Because I promise you this, man, it never lasts, right? So, like, if you just, like, sit in that, like, be comfortable, like, all right, this is, welcome to Shitsville, population one, like that.
Right. For sure.
Take pictures of Shitsville, journal about Shitsville. Think about all your time in Shitsville, because you're going to leave Shitsville eventually, you know what I mean? You always,
right. It doesn't last forever. You're right.
You know? I think it's super, and like you said, like I got lucky to have a guitar, but like, but people want to have find something that you can express your
right.
This needs to speak without saying any words, and so for people, it's gardening and or cutting hair or makeup or cooking or, you know, ice skating, whatever it is, man.
Right. Yeah.
Ways which this can say something without having
for sure. Yeah, and doing this podcast is one of the things, you know. I have a regular job. I work for a marketing agency. I'm doing this now. You know, just try to stay busy and with doing things that I love, and, you know, things that we love, and you know, like you said, just let it speak for itself. And
for sure, absolutely. And that's, like I said, I'm a sucker for music. Obviously, it's what I do. But I think that's one thing. Even before listening to Phil Collins, Huey Lewis in the News, like do you remember Huey Lewis?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna.
Oh, we're showing our age now.
Right.
I don't.
I love 80s music. Love it.
Same.
I've been
Love
playing
80s.
this song, and I just want to play a little bit for you guys. So you guys,
Do your thing,
you
and
can
then
tell me to stop.
Yeah.
Yep.
close out.
But I'll just play a little bit. It's not my tune, but when I talk about 80s tunes, I was like, this ought to be fun. So check this shit out. I've been phoning, I've been moaning. I heard you say, tell him I'm not home. Now you confessing, but I'm still guessing. I've been your fool for so long. Girl, don't lie, just to save my feelings. Girl, don't cry and tell me nothing's wrong. Girl, don't you try to make up phony reasons. I'd rather leave than never to believe if this is it. Please let me know, 'cause if this ain't life, you there's enough to make me go. If this is it,
That's awesome.
Hey.
oh no, no. 'Cause if this ain't life, baby, just say so.
Yes. Okay. You took it
That's
there.
awesome.
That was great.
Love
That's-
all those
that's-
songs like that.
And that's my night. That's what I do every night. Is I just take all of my favorite hits that I love, that I heard when I was
That's
a kid.
awesome, man.
Whenever they came on the radio in the back, she says, "Oh
Right.
shit, that's Phil Collins," or "This is me." She did like "Easy Lover." That was Phil Collins.
Right.
Oh
Yes.
my God. Aretha Franklin. The which one? We go and ride it on the freeway. Anyways,
Oh
like,
yeah, right.
Any of
I'm so in my pink Cadillac.
Whitney Houston, all of
Right.
those songs I get excited about. I just basically do them on a acoustic guitar, and they pay me money to do it. That's my favorite thing.
That's
Like
great.
Glory Days. I love that song.
Yeah.
What was another one I was thinking about? Oh God, it slipped my mind. But you know, just all them 80s hits, man.
Yeah.
Tom Petty. That's what I was thinking about.
Yes.
Free
Yes.
Falling. Free Falling. I love that song.
Oh, R.I.P. Tom. He was
Won't Back
great.
Down. One that I pulled out of the crate. Won't Back Down. It was after I remember it was after the Boston bombing, and I was like trying to find. I always try to I keep my ear to the ground and try to find things that would kind of bring people together sometimes. And that Won't Back Down was such an appropriate tune for that time, for that period of time. It was just
Right.
Your music unifies people. It really
Exactly.
does.
Well, I think that's
We need more of that. We need more of that right now.
That's the magic of music, is because everyone has to share.
Mhm.
I mean, no, not every, you can't do it for an hour, but maybe for 3 minutes or even fucking an hour and a minute and 30 seconds. We share consciousness. That we're all listening to the same thing and we're all experiencing the same at one time in that room. I mean, if you get lucky, you could do it on the airwaves, but there's something about organic room together. It's a collective consciousness, and that's infectious, man. Because you go home and you want to be connected.
Peace of mind.
Yeah, there's some good shit there, man. It's a beautiful thing, and I think that's the part of why I think our community, our society is having a conversation right now. It's because everything's been cooped up. We've been isolated. There's so much going on, and we just want that connection and that consciousness, but you can't. Other kind of madness. So,
are you doing any live plays? Can we watch you play?
I did in the beginning, the first when the pandemic first hit. I was like, yo, I'm doing all these live streams and
no better time than then, you know.
And I think because I then moved back to Minnesota because I was going to do work here, and then not only did we have the pandemic shut down, but then of course the community of Minneapolis decided to have a conversation, May 25th. You know what I mean? And so that's things have been it's been hard to kind of get in the swing of things. So I don't know.
Well, if you have another live, let me know. I'm in.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll definitely be streaming.
I'm a fan already, just off of those.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just pick one up next week. Sometime I was doing some things. But if you want to, what I can say is I got plenty of material though, on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram. Okay. I do this thing called the Costanita concert, which was like a deal on the NPR Tiny Desk concert. and I was playing music from my mom's kitchen, and so I was doing that for a little. So stuff on there. I'll pick it back up again, but I think I was taking the time to, you know, like I said, there was everyone else started doing it. I've been live streaming for years. I've been, like, so when this happened, I felt like, no, maybe the airwaves are a little crowded. And like I said, then after May 25th, like society needed to have a more deeper conversation, and I just didn't necessarily want to like, hey, come look at me play. So it's a fine line between like being an outlet for people, but also not wanting to be like distraction or hey,
disrespectful or a distraction. Yeah.
Right.
But I definitely,
no, absolutely,
because I miss that connection, because like I get to see people's like responding to it and having comments to it, and it's fun.
I just subscribed. I just found you on YouTube and I subscribed, so I'll definitely be checking it out, man. Sharing some stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I put some more lives together, and maybe we'll just kind of make this more, you know, we'll bring the connection bigger. We'll just do it.
Well, thanks for setting the mood for our Saturday, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Got some great vibes. Much appreciated.
Yeah, so go and plug your website and your YouTube channel one more time.
Yeah, so basically everything is, all the social media sites are Reynaldo Moreno Music. So YouTube.com, Instagram, Facebook. And then the website is reynaldomoreno.com. Apple, iTunes, Spotify, you can find all the music and all that stuff on all the normal sites. Just if you spell my name, there's not too many of me out there making music, so you can find me pretty
awesome.
So, and I really appreciate the conversation with you guys.
I wanted to talk about my cousins just opened up a second spot over there on the west side, north end. It's Detroit's Love Tacos. She's at 9425 John R. in Detroit, Michigan. So right on the west side, she's got all kinds of good stuff on there. So Alex, if you want to go check out Lisa,
sure.
On John R. And then she's still on Nancy Whiskey's on Taco Tuesday. So I wanted to put her real quick. Do you have anybody that you need to plug?
No, you know what? I'm just gonna give my my niece a shout out. She does it's called, you can follow her on Instagram. It's called Craves and Crafts, at Craves and Crafts. And like I said before, she does bunch of, like, she just makes a bunch of goodies, strawberries, dipped strawberries and pretzels and stuff like that. You just go check her page out at Craves and Crafts. But I just wanted to give her a quick shout out. And if you want to place any orders, once you see what's on there, you might want to place an order, and you can just DM her. And but yeah, that's basically it. No, I don't really have too much.
All right, Tori.
Other than that,
coming on too. I know you guys doing a lot of things. I think Tori's on the podcast too. Tori, I know you do a lot of different things. So if there's anything you want to talk about or plug, go for it.
I have my podcast coming up. It's going to be called Savage Kitty Chronicles, launching soon. So more on that. And my clothing line, Savage Kitty. But, other than that, I keep busy between that and trying to elevate my consciousness. So, that's about it. Yeah.
All right.
I see the website, savagekittyclothing.com.
Yes, savagekittyclothing.com. And you can find me on Instagram at allbeautyallbeast. So,
I like that handle.
Yeah, there's a lot. We got a lot of new things coming in store for us.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's excited for the new year.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, Naldo. I love you, man.
Love you, brother.
Careful out there. I know we got some craziness, riots. Hopefully they're not going on anymore. So
yeah, it's calming down. I'll be home. Yeah, I'll be home soon. Hopefully.
Let me know when you come home.
I will.
I know. We were gonna get together before, but I know because of COVID.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun. I hope things get back going again. I'd love to go out there and play. And I think it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. So hopefully get it happening.
Yeah, maybe you can climb a light pole. So there's I'll leave you with that. So there's a great story. So I used to live down at River Place. That's where the Martin's. They always showed the outside building over there.
Right.
So
Jefferson.
You would see that building. Of course, I lived in the back at 300 River Place. I believe my brother was getting married. They went out the night before. We got really fucked up, I believe. and there's a big courtyard. Reynaldo decided to climb the light.
I think I remember you telling me about this before.
I mean, can you tell me what made you climb a
It's sheer existence. The fact that it was there, it needed to be climbed. I mean, that was all about at that point in time. God,
that's not an easy thing to do either, man.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Man, all of my I had so many good memories going back to Detroit, man. So many good memories going back to Detroit, man. That was my first White Castle burger. We got White Castle, Minnesota, and it always reminds me when Mr. Garcia. My first White Castle was from Detroit, but I ate them in Arizona.
Right.
Garcia would fly with them for a Esteban, and I would get a slider. I always get a couple sliders. Awesome.
Right.
I had no idea.
It's Scottsdale, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same though. You know, we got them, and have you had them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's not the same. You feel okay the next day. Like your stomach isn't messed
You
up.
feel okay. Yeah, that's definitely not the same for sure.
And they even ask you.
15 minutes, you didn't get a real slider. Like, you're not,
No. Like we got a crate case. We waited in line, and then the next day, my kid's like, "Why do we feel okay?" And I said, "You know," he said, I think they cleaned their grill, Mom. I said, well,
that's hilarious.
Scottsdale doesn't know about an 8-mile White Castle, the original. But you know, it's still, the smell is there.
I barely eat those, and I live by them once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a year.
And you hate yourself after.
Right. Yeah, can't eat just like 2 or 3, and I'm skinny dude. I eat like about 8 of them. Regret it.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
But when you're in it, you're like, these are so good. This is the best.
For sure.
Yeah.
So White
come
Castle
over in that little.
My memory. Right.
Well, I just want to say it was great meeting you guys, and hopefully, we can do this again. Love your music, man.
Thank you, brother.
I'm gonna check out your clothing and everything, clothing site, Tori, and once again, like I said, it was just great meeting you guys, and definitely got to have you back on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hear some more music, some more of that great music, man.
Let me know, man.
Sure.
Thanks, guys. Mask
All right, happy Saturday, y'all.
COVID. You guys be careful out there.
Work.